is a quick how-to as to how to add responsive video to your web page. So this means that if you have a video on your page and if you are using a smaller screen or a larger screen, it's going to adjust accordingly. So you can see this video as the screen is sizing down, it's making sure it fits. It's not going to overflow. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about a responsive video. So to do this, the very most efficient way is probably a little technically uncomfortable for some people, but we will show it because it is the fastest way. And the very fastest way is to grab the snippet of an existing responsive video and just edit the one little portion of it you have to edit to make it play a different responsive video. So in this case, I have this page set up that you saw with a video already on it. So I'll quickly show how to do that. You have to go into the source view and you need to be able to find your snippet. Alternatively, you can always request from Golden Shovel that we send you the snippet, which we're happy to do. You can put a support portal request in or talk to your gatekeeper, and we can send it to you and you can just have it on hand. Otherwise, you can just pull it off your site if you know how to read enough of it. It'll typically be sort of sitting on its own like this, and you're looking for something that says embed responsive 16:9, and there's a YouTube or a Vimeo URL or another video URL. That's the snippet that you want, and you want the entire thing from the start div to the end div. You can just copy that. And then you want to find where you want to place it in your HTML. In this case, we're doing it on the same page, so I don't have to go anyplace, but I want to put it down here. One handy trick that you can do is you can just type in something that's going to be visible and distinct, so that when you're in the source view, it's a little bit easier to find it without having to read anything. So I will do something like a whole bunch of one character, ideally even entirely by itself. So we'll take that off. So we just have that character. So now if I go to the source view, I can very quickly scroll through and see where I have repeating characters. And that's what I want to replace. So I can just replace it by pasting in a snippet that I copied. So now I have a video in here that's responsive. It's just not the right one. So now I need to go update the URL, which is here. This is the video URL to pull the video that I want. So if I want this video to show, I look at the URL on YouTube, Vimeo, wherever, and I find the ID of the video. So in this case, it's after the V equals, it's this ID here. I can copy that. Make sure you do only have this. Sometimes if you're using a playlist or if you have some other settings on your video, you may have things that come after it. So you would see like an ampersand plist equal blah, 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 something like that. And you want to extract only this little ID here. So you can just copy only that part, come back here, and you're going to paste that over the ID that's in the existing URL. If I do that, go to my source. Now you don't see it previewed here because that's just the way the admin works. It can't play the video for you. But if we look at the front end now, there was my first video. And this is the snippet I copied, but with my different video, which we saw was here, strengthen your community's competitive potential, etc., which is now in this place. So that is how to do it quickly and efficiently if you can cope with the HTML involved. If you're not comfortable with that, you can do it. It's a little bit longer in terms of steps, but we can certainly do that. So let's go through that. So the first thing we want to do is make another placeholder for ourselves. And again, I like to just use a repeating character because it's really easy to see no matter what I'm doing. So I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to select my placeholder, the entire thing. And I'm going to come up here to click the div button, where I'm creating a div container, which is basically going to put a tag around it. So I have something surrounding it. And in the style sheet classes, I'm going to put embed-responsive and embed-responsive-16:9 spelled out. And you need to put all of those in. It's case sensitive, it's spelling sensitive, so you want to make sure you get it correct. And click OK. Now your text will disappear because the admin's a little bit confused. It's not expecting to have text within that area. Sometimes you can try saving. Usually if you interact with it a little bit, you'll finally get it to show up for you. At the moment I'm clicking in the cell and clicking my right arrows, which you see got it to show up for me, which is all I needed it to do. So now I need to get my YouTube URL. The problem is I cannot just come here and use the URL that's in the address bar because YouTube will not let your videos embed on another site unless it has a very special type of URL. So you need to come down here to where there's a share button, click that, and take the embed option. And you'll see they give you a snippet. Unfortunately, YouTube is not able, YouTube, Vimeo, any services are not able to give you a video snippet that's automatically responsive. And that's because the website itself has to handle the responsiveness, and there are different ways to do it. So the video platforms, YouTube, Vimeo, etc., they don't know what method your site is using, so they can't give it to you in a way that it will be responsive. The best they can do is to set width and height, which you can see right there. They just try and make it so that's reasonably small, so that a fairly large amount of the audience will actually be able to see the video without it running off the screen, and if the rest of the audience is just going to have a little bit of trouble with it. And obviously, if you have a very large screen, you're only seeing a 560 wide video, so it's not very juicy of an experience, but they do have their full screen button. So they've done the best they can for you, but this is as far as it goes. So we have to get the URL ourselves. So from this snippet, we want just the source. So you can see here it says source equals, and then in quotes, there's URL. And you can see it's got this little ID here that matches the ID up here. We want the whole source, or you can take it without the protocol if you like. Either way will work. So we select just that. We're going to copy. I'm using Command C on my Mac keyboard. And then we're going to come back to the admin. And now we're going to select our text. I would recommend that you don't do like double clicking or triple clicking to select it, because we put it in that containing div. And sometimes when you do a automatic select like that, you can select more than you want to. So select only the text, either just click and drag across it, or if you're really nervous about selecting the right amount, you can click anywhere in it. Make sure you get to the beginning and then hold down Shift and then your right arrow key or left arrow key if you're at the end of it until you selected just those characters. So now we selected those, and we're going to put an iframe in, which is going to replace them. So you want to go up to here to this little globe icon, which is your iframe. Click that, and it's going to give you a pop-up. The URL is the URL you copied from YouTube, so you're just going to paste that right there. Again, you can do that with or without the protocol, so you can take off the HTTPS : if you want. It's not going to hurt anything. You want to leave the other fields blank on this tab, but you want to go to Advanced, and in the Style Sheet Classes field, you want to put Embed Responsive Item. Click OK. So now we've done that, we're going to try saving. And now we find out if I got my class names all spelled correctly, because I usually don't type them in manually. But you can see your video has appeared. And this is the one that we placed just here. And I'm just opening it up to check the responsiveness. So we can see that, yep, once we break, scroll it down a little bit more, break so that you have a very small screen, it's going to stack, but you can see that they then suddenly got much wider. So this is a responsive video. So that is how you can do responsive videos in 2 different ways.